Yes, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand about this practice. Because when it comes to meditation, it is very important to know why we have to practice meditation, what it does. And then the next step is what kind of meditation technique you have to practice. And then the third step, how you practice that technique. So like that, step by step, you have to be very clear. So when it comes to our human life, it's always you have to remember, day by day, we slowly coming to our end. It's not we gaining something, it's we losing our life. So then out of your time, you have to get the best always. So when it comes to that, what is the best that you can gain? It is not in this material world that what we accumulate, but the best that you can gain is one thing is tranquility state, having undisturbed mind, even for a moment. And other best thing that you can gain, having a vipassana knowledge or reflect on impermanent and unsatisfactory nature and the selflessness. Even for a moment, if you do it, it's going to become a greater benefit for you. And little by little, you can increase the duration. So to get into that level, suddenly overnight, you can't do it. So then you have to practice a little bit. When it comes to our mind, the mind has a different nature. Mind always try to clinging to something. So the very first thing we have to know, we have to understand this life happens because of some reasons. Behind this all, there are three reasons: greed, hatred, and the delusion. So then, using the same qualities, you can't purify yourself. Using the dirt, you can't clean the dirt. So like that, using the greed, hatred, or the delusion, you can't clean the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So then you have to have something beyond that. So Dharma is the solution for that. Another one is that if you can be in the present moment, so in that very moment, it will help you to get out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So in that way, you can start to purify yourself. Because when it comes to this entire human history, whatever things happen, generations to generations or civilizations to civilizations, and people have this self-centered, egocentric mind. And because of that, we went through many kind of difficulties. As a person, as a society, as a country, as generations, as civilizations. So we went through many difficulties. So then yourself, it is important to look into your own life and see, do you want to keep go in this way? If not, then you have to look into the solution. So the very first thing you have to understand how this life happens. So behind this all, there is a desire. Without desire, this life not going to happen. Look into your own life. Whatever the position that you achieve, it's never happened itself naturally, automatically. Behind that all achievement, you had the desire. Because of that desire, you put some effort on it. And that's why you have this life today like this. So if you move backward little by little, and reverse the life, you will see, even before we come to this world, in our previous life, when we come to the end of that moment, we had a greater desire to become, as that's why we start this life. So like that always, this desire comes with the attachment. So the attachment comes because of the idea of I am, or the self, or the me. So when the mind gets into that attachment, when you start to think about you, or like I am, me, self, what happens? It's kind of like your thoughts start to calcify. It's like the water become like ice. So, when the water become ice, you can't wash the face. You can't wash your hands. You can't wash your feet. So, same thing happened to our mind also. Once the mind attached with the self, I am, and you can't use the mind properly to purify yourself. So then in the very first level, you have to understand this nature within yourself and see where you are clinging, holding. So sometimes we become very limited when we hold it to the self. So somehow the very nature of this all is impermanence. This nothing going to be solid forever. Nothing going to be permanently exist as it is. It always change. And when it comes to the deeper ourselves, all our thoughts has this kind of like a three different nature. So one is called anusaya. So it's a kind of like a very root level of thoughts. So until you attain to the liberation, that nature going to be with you. And you have no idea what kind of thoughts going to come in that very next level. So because of that anusaya, it's kind of like seed. It's kind of like a bottom level of roots. It has a nature to ignite. It has nature to give birth. It has nature to arise. So if you don't aware about it, what happens? Anything can happen in your life within your own choice. It's kind of like a desire, intention. And other one is the pariuttana. So the pariuttana means the processing level. It kind of like the seed advance to activate. So then in the very first level, that all the thought arise in your mind, and then what happen? It is start to activate and start to come to kind of like to plan or start to find a way to come out. So that process is depend on the moment by moment reactions. And the very next level called the vitikama. So through your body, with your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, it will start to go through you and fulfill the desire. So it is not you. It is a nature. Itself happens. But once you understand this, you are capable to not to go with that. So that is what the awareness does. So through the meditation, you can recognize this. You can understand this. So once you understand, you are capable to maintain or the manage or the change the process. So when it comes to anusaya, that means from the very beginning, when the thought arises, and maybe you don't know why it happens, but the thought arises. So in that very level, if you think, recognize that, and according to your own understanding, knowingly this is wholesome thought or the unwholesome thought, so you can stop it at the anusaya in the very bottom level, at the very seed level. Or when the process start to come, pariuttana, in the process, in that very level also you can stop this. And then the vidikama, and when it comes through your bodily, verbally, mentally action, that way also you can change it to many directions. So there are three ways you can change whatever the deeper nature itself if you become mindful. So then you have three options. But still, when the mind not aware about this, what happens? You're not going to recognize this, and you can't get this chance. You can't get this opportunity. And then what happened again and again, you go with the life. And that repetition itself, we call the samsara. So that's why from the basic level, you have to remember, if you don't care about it, it's going to go itself. So if you don't guide yourself, it will start to go itself. And you have no idea where it go and what will happen, where are you going to end tomorrow. So that's why on the surface level, at least in this conventional life, as ordinary people, you have to have some kind of idea about life. So what kind of life you want? Because otherwise, your mind itself will start to take you to different level, different directions, and you have no idea. So, and then other thing is, you have to look around and see and what happened to other people and how their life behave and how their life happened. So that way also you can recognize and you can manage and you can understand. And at the same way that you have to develop some kind of this, remember this, it's not going to happen itself. It needs some kind of effort. But most of time, ourselves, we allow our mind to become kind of like calcify, like the water become ice. We hold it to our own repetition. We hold it to our own favor. We hold it to our own comfort. And because of that, the repetition happen. And underneath that repetition, what happens? Our life slowly go towards unknown direction. So don't allow it to happen. In this very lifetime, at least you can understand the system and you can develop a very clear path for yourself. If you can attain to the liberation in this very lifetime, then it is okay. Otherwise, you can develop some kind of wholesome actions in you and you can have very clear intention where you should go, where you should move. So in that way, little by little, you can develop this method. So somehow overall, getting to that level, you have to have some basic qualities. So one of the important quality that you have to have the effort. Because without effort, this is not going to happen. And if you don't put the effort with the intention, what will happen? Somehow this effort, it is a mental energy. It will create some kind of things and it will take you somewhere. So then recognize where this mental energy, the effort take you or where you want to put. And one should recognize that. If it is unprofitable, change it to profitable path. And if it is in the profitable path, the very next step that you have to take, you have to protect that. Take care it. Because anytime it can derail, it can go away, it can move to different direction. So then always be mindful. If your intention is in the right direction or the wholesome path, always keep the effort again and again and again and again. And then sometimes itself you can't move forward. You can't take the intention forward itself. So then you have to take some help around from other mental qualities. So as example, when it comes to liberation, there are some other things it help for you, especially self-discipline and generosity and being more open-minded and practicing. So this kind of qualities will help you to master your final goal. So like that, always remember, when it comes to your spiritual practice, or even in this very conventional life, and sometimes you need the help. Don't afraid to get the help, and don't afraid to ask the help, because we can't do everything just by ourselves. Sometimes we need the help from others. So like that, get the help from other qualities. And if it is not there, just develop it within you. And the same way, you have to moment by moment balance. So the balance is not the maintaining the same way, because the life always going, it's moving up and down, and it can move to any direction. But here the balance means, so wherever it go, whatever the unbalance come, right away you are capable to keep it in the on the track. So in that way, in this process, step by step, you can develop the path and move forward. So out of this practice, from the very beginning, we develop the tranquility state. So that means observing the sensation and observing the inhalation, exhalation, and knowing it very clearly. Step by step, we develop undisturbed mind. So once you are capable to recognize it and start to observe the change happening within that each and every inhalation and exhalation, because it is not a very solid, unchangeable experience that itself change moment by moment. And so observe the change and then see it not happen because of you, but you exist because of that change. And then be aware about it and reflect on that. Again, I repeat, observe the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation and develop very tranquility state, and then see the change happening within that inhalation, exhalation. That change happened not because of you, but you exist because of that change. So reflect on that, observe it, and little by little, go deeper with that change. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. Allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.